How's it going? It's new bike day, an exciting day for me. This is the RideStar Q20 Pro. It's a dual battery, dual motor, 52 volt e-bike. We'll get into the details later when we go for our ride, but I wanted to show you what comes in the box. I'm going to throw this thing together really quick. If I run into issues, I'll cut in. Otherwise, I'll see you when it's done. Okay, well, here she is, all put together. I realized I do have the front fender on backwards. That's on purpose because I like the way it looks a lot better like that. So we'll go over all the specs. And before we get started with the review, please just take a second to go down and hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to make it to 10,000 subscribers. So let's start with how to turn the bike on. So basically, you just have a key here. You turn the key, there's a little button cluster here. You just hold power and then it comes on. The display is pretty basic. You got your charge state, you've got your information here. This is how many miles you've driven. You can do trip, max speed, average miles an hour, and then you also have the plus and minus. This is for pedal assist and power mode. On some bikes the PAS is only for the pedal assist power, but on this bike it also works for the throttle. So there's 5 different power modes for the throttle and the pedals. What's also cool about this bike is it has a little walk mode, so if you hold down this minus button, it'll walk for you. The other button on here is the light switch. So this bike comes with a headlight and turn signals in the front, a rear running light, turn signals, and a brake light in the rear. So not too shabby. So this bike is a dual motor and dual battery setup. So it has 2 1000 watt hub motors, and then it has 2 20 amp 52 volt motors, right? So we should see some pretty good acceleration. Since it's a 52 volt, your top speed's sort of limited by your voltage. Realistically, you're looking in between like 32, 35 miles an hour, something like that. But let's test it out really quick and see how she does. I always do everything in full power mode, so I'm just gonna leave it in full power mode. But we'll start with the front motor off and just do rear motor and see what kind of top speed we can get. And I'm doing throttle only. Yeah, that speedometer is like way over the GPS. That thing's way off. It says 37, I'm going 30 miles an hour. Let's see if there's any difference between the back and the front. So I'll turn the back off and I'll turn the front on and we'll hit that. Interesting, the acceleration from the rear feels a little stronger than the front. Yeah, it looks like 30 miles an hour top speed with the front only. The acceleration with both actually feels pretty good. It's a lot faster than any other dual motor e-bike I've ridden. It's not faster than like dual motor scooters I've ridden. Yeah, so it's maxed out at 37 on the speedometer on the bike, but the GPS is showing 31. Let's see, 32. Yeah, 32 is the most I'm getting. It feels like it has more. I mean, it gets up to the top speed pretty easily, and then it just kind of cuts out. I wonder if I need to get into the settings and change it. This thing's very torquey for this kind of bike. It's actually really fun. So let's talk about the braking system. It has 180 millimeter rotors, and it has what looks like 4-piston brakes. I've looked all over the internet. I can't find out if these are 4-piston or 2-piston. They seem like 4-piston to me. I'm pretty sure they're 4-piston, so we're gonna call them 4-piston. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. You got the same setup in the front and the rear. Let's test out these brakes really quick and we'll be right back. All right, and let's see how fast we can brake. I'm gonna get up to about 25 miles an hour, and I'm gonna hit the brakes right when I get to this fire hydrant right here. So let's see, we're talking from 25 miles an hour to full stop. What would you say, about 20 feet, something like that, 20 or 30 feet. I mean, not too shabby. The tires did skid out a little bit because they're sort of dual sporty type tires. They don't have the best grip on cement, but the brakes actually feel really good to me. Let's see what we can get at 30 miles an hour, because that's sort of close to the top speed. So actually we'll max it out until this thing says 37, and then we'll try again. All right, so we're going max speed now. So, I mean, that's quite a bit going max speed. If you get to slam on your brakes, someone's right in front of you, better be ready to swerve. I mean, it's not terrible for these kind of brakes. They're actually, it's pretty good. They feel pretty powerful. It's just like the tires lock up a little bit, and that kind of what slows down the stopping time. If you change these out to maybe some more street-oriented tires, you probably get a lot better grip and better braking, but yeah, I'd say they're good. So let's get into the ergonomics a little bit. You can see it does have sort of higher handlebars, and it has a 33-inch seat height. So I'm 5'9". You can see I can flat foot it, just barely though. If it was a little taller, I'd be up on my tippy toes a little bit, but I can comfortably flat foot this bike. The pedal positions make it really comfortable to ride in throttle mode, but it's not very comfortable to pedal. I mean, these kind of bikes really aren't made for pedaling. They're made for the throttle, you know, in the way they're designed. They pretty much have the pedals there to pass regulation to be legal. Yeah, you could pedal this though, and the pedal assist comes on a little bit late, but it works. But yeah, all my testing is going to be done throttle only. Another good thing about this bike is it has full suspension. So as you can see, the suspension is not adjustable, the rear or the front. It has an air shock in the rear here. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm a pretty hefty guy, so I appreciate stiff suspension, and this suspension is very stiff. So it works out well for me. If you look at the amount of sag on the back, this rear shock is super stiff. And in the front, for me, it's perfect. It does make it a little bit jolty coming off road, but personally, I'd rather have it too stiff than overly soft and be bottoming out. You're never gonna bottom this thing out because it's so stiff. So it's got a pretty decent air shock and really good forks. For when I say really good, in the context of this level of bike, not compared to like an electric dirt bike, but for what it is, it's very good. So it's also got 20-inch rims with 4-inch fat tires on them. They've got this sort of dual sporty type tread you saw from the brake video. They don't have great traction when braking, but you can fix that just by getting more street-oriented tires. One of the good things about having two motors is the torque, right? This might be controversial. Some people disagree with me when I say this, but these hub motors aren't nearly as torquey as mid-drive motors. They're not as good at hill climbing as mid-drive motors are. But with the dual motors, let's test and see how this thing does climbing up a fairly steep hill that's right over here. All right, so this hill is pretty damn steep. You can't really tell because of the camera, but it's, you know, I don't know, a good 30 or 40 feet high here. And I'm gonna take this trail up here and see how well it does. So I got both motors on. Let's just see how she does. Throttle only. I got full throttle. Oh, wow. No problem. Whoa, I was not expecting it to be that easy for this thing, seriously. This hill is actually really steep. Yeah, I wish there was a way you can actually see how steep it was, but that was actually really good. I'm impressed by that. So this thing is very torquey. But really quick, if you want to buy this thing, the link's in the description. All right, so as far as gearing, it's got a 7-speed Shimano shifter, and it's got a Shimano derailleur, 7 gears. A couple extra things it comes with is like it comes with this phone holder here, which is pretty convenient. I used it the other day and it actually works well. And it has mirrors. So I really like having mirrors. It just makes riding so much safer, you know, being able to see what's behind you, especially when you're turning lanes. One thing I forgot to mention about the brakes is it does use DOT brake fluid, so it's not going to heat up as fast and it's going to last longer. Here's how the horn sounds. Loud enough to work. The horn is actually integrated with the headlight here. The one thing I haven't mentioned yet is range. So I'm going to do the range test in another video. In my next video of this will be a range test. I like to do it separate. So I really like that it has dual batteries. You know, having that extra 20 amp hour battery, 52 volts. It puts this thing, I don't know the total, but it's over 2,000 watt hours. So that's the first thing, is having the extra range from having two batteries. Obviously, the next one is going to be having two motors. Having that second motor makes this bike way funner. Like, it actually goes the same top speed as having a single motor in the rear or the front, but it's just that added acceleration, that added torque, that fun factor is just increased so much by having that extra motor. It makes this thing just super fun to ride. I really appreciate how it has full working brake lights, turn signals, running lights in the front and the rear, and it has a pretty decent headlight. All right guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Please hit that like button, comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, again, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.